Hi, everyone. We'll just give everyone a few seconds to fill in here from the trivia break. Hope everyone enjoyed our opening keynotes today. Feel free to throw any thoughts, takeaways, impressions that you had in the chat, and we'll kick this off very shortly. Okay, let's get started. Thanks for joining, everyone. Really excited for this session with Ichai from Zebra Technologies. This session will cover process automation and specifically Zebra's use case involving sales order management and automation, and how CData enables robotic process automation use cases. My name is Arun. I'm your host on this session. I'm thrilled to be joined by Idishai, who's a senior digital IT automation and innovation manager at Zebra Technologies. Welcome, Idishai. Great to have you here. Could you start by introducing yourself and sharing your role at Zebra Technologies?
Sure, Arun. Thanks for having me. Right, my name is Itishai Chamavadishku. I'm leading the IT digital automation and innovation at Zebra Technologies. Like Arun said, for digital automation practice, we automate business processes so our user can focus on higher value added work, right, instead of repetitive and mundane tasks. In innovation space, my team and I explore and adopt new technologies just right now, right? AI and generative AI. Main goal is to enhance automation and then to create new business capabilities. And beyond implementation, right? I work closely with our Zebra leaders to lead the strategy, governance, and then cross-functional collaboration to make sure that we as an organization gain the measurable value from all the AI-driven initiatives.
Great. Yeah, and I think workflow automation with generative AI is definitely a strong topic at this point. A lot of people are interested in it. So really excited to be on the session with you. Just to give everyone a quick agenda for this session, we'll start off by covering Zebra Technologies and the challenge that they faced around manual sales order processing. We'll cover some of the goals that Idishai had as part of the engagement with CData. We'll talk through the solution in some depth and exactly how it was implemented. And then we'll give everyone a feel for where Zebra and Idishai's team are headed in the future when it comes to generative AI use cases. So to start off with, Idishai, what was the specific challenge that Zebra is facing in the order management process?
Yeah, sure. This is like common in most organizations, right? Zebra is facing a challenge in the order management process with the many customers, especially SMB, right, small and medium business, or even some larger enterprises. They are still submitting purchase order in the email attachment instead of a true electronic system like EDI, for example, right? So this means that our order management human agents, right, have to open each PDF, email and PDF manually, and we type all the detail of the order information into our internal order management system, which is in this case Oracle Siebel. So this process was slow, right? Prone to errors, and then it's create a lot of bottlenecks, right? As a result, often, right, our orders are delayed, and then operation costs increase, and this definitely directly impact our both customer experience and then more importantly, revenue recognition.
Yeah, it sounds like a pretty time-intensive, manual work-intensive process that's pretty ripe for automation. So when you started the project, when you thought about automating this specific order management process, what were some of the goals that you were aiming for with this project implementation?
Yeah, so our goal is the center around streaming the order management system, right? We start small with the key account first, right? We want to eliminate the manual entry of the purchase order from email, which we know already that it's error prone and then resource intensive, right? So the automating this process, we aim to reduce manual effort, minimize error, and speed up order processing. So the turnaround time it could be measured now in minutes, right, rather than hours, or in some cases in days, right, in the past, right. So even ability to sustain the high order during the peak demand, we be able to kind of successfully have a turnaround in terms of minute now, right. So ultimately, we want to focus on the customer satisfaction, right, to this faster, more accurate, seamless order handling process. And at the end, we want to see, the revenue recognition more quickly, and then at the end, kind of help the human agent to reduce the manual process.
Yeah, that's a pretty dramatic impact going from hours to days for a critical revenue recognition workflow to minutes. It's a pretty impressive outcome that you were able to achieve with this automation. So let's dive in more deeply. I'd love to understand kind of how you approached solving this challenge, and kind of how the automation works on a more granular level, and how you implemented it.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, so like I mentioned, we took the structure approach here, right? We will combine the best in class automation technology with the right integration tools, right? First, we leverage the robotic process automation, or RPS, as most of us know, right, to handle repetitive tasks of extracting order detail from the email, and then from the PDF, and then transforming data into the required data format, and then submit directly into the order management system, right? And then also provide feedback back into the Salesforce, so to get the latest update, right? And then the working closely with the C data, especially in this particular product, C data, Salesforce, or this ODBC driver, allow us to connect data directly to Salesforce with the seamless bi-directional way, right? This means that we could run SQL-like query, right, to extract information, update data quickly without have to build complex API. So this drastically simplify the development process, make solution is more scalable, right? So the idea is that combining the best-in-class for automation, and then the data robust connectivity from C data, we can create end-to-end automation that accurate and fast and require minimal manual intervention.
Yeah, makes sense. I think the bi-directional piece is really interesting. It sounds like that's a pretty critical element of your revenue recognition process, is that the data has to be read from Salesforce as well as written back to Salesforce. So the fact that this was enabled sounds like a pretty critical driver of success for this use case. Can you touch on the implementation and what it looks like on a day-to-day basis in more detail?
Yeah, sure. Yeah. So the every day, right, it begins with our customer purchase order arriving by email, and it shows up as the Salesforce case. The email automatically log onto Salesforce's case, and then we have, so in the past, right, obviously, agent has to open up this case manually to review the content, and then if it no, this is the order, it has to download the PDF attachment, and then we enter all this information into order management system, right? So now we have this automated feature where we can tag this arriving email in case, and the mechanism to flag the potential order. So with this, we can have robotic process automation RPA to read the email content, and then be able to extract information based on the predefined criteria, right? And also we download the purchase order PDF, and since we know this is order, so we use the intelligent document as understanding to extract information like the item numbers, the quantity that the customer want, the shipping information, and so on. This ability to do that to the C data or this ODBC driver. So after extraction, robot perform data cleansing, transformation, right? Ensure that we have product codes that match the internal standard, quantity are valid, right? And then more important, customer information like ship to address, bill to address, and so on are match our system. So this step to make sure that data is clean, right? Once data is ready and clean, we can submit that to the RPA again into management system. And once the bot submit the order to this web service, right, we get data back, confirmation about order, sales order number, and so on from SIBO. And this happened near real time, like in right away. So once the confirmation arrived, we automated submit the status update back to Salesforce. So at this point, it's near real time. The customer can see notification right away that the order has been entered and successfully submitted automatically.
Yeah, that near real-time piece is critical here. Can you talk a little bit about how CData enabled this automation? I think you mentioned the use of ODBC driver and the fact that it's a near real-time integration. Would love to understand the specific role that CData played here.
Yeah, for sure. The Salesforce OBDC driver from CData really serve as a foundation enabler for us to do automation, right? Because it gives us the secure and high performance, the two-way connectivity to our Salesforce system and obviously other system also. So we can easily read the content from Salesforce and write back update automatically, right? Because CData acts as abstraction layer, right? It reduces amount of manual table lookup if we have to do via API, right? So by having automatically data selection and so on, it reduces the development time, it minimizes the error, and then it's integrated quite well with the RPA, make it simpler to do the integration, and then the connectivity is very reliable, and then for sure it's secure. So the whole interoperability between RPA and then CData just works seamlessly.
Yeah, you had mentioned that kind of the customer satisfaction was one of the big outcomes that you were going for. The fact that they can place an order and have a seamless experience where that order is validated in near real time through this automation that you've set up. Can you touch on some of the other business results and impact that you saw once this automation went live?
Yeah, for sure. You see this directly impact the sales order automation here right now for the selected customer accounts, right, that we enable automation here. 91% right now order is processed automatically, and then this is average right now roughly about 2,500 orders a month, right? So this huge portion of work no longer require manual re-entry by human agent, right? And then in terms of efficiency, this automation saves significant amount of time that our team could redirect toward a higher value task, right? For example, handling exception, improving customer experience, right, rather than do mundane tasks, right? Because the framework is also scalable, we plan to expand more and more customer. Right now, we have a limited deployment with a certain customer only, but we plan to expand to more customer account to gain more benefit.
Yeah, that's a pretty significant, even by the numbers, pretty significant outcome that you've achieved in implementing this use case here. So it's quite impressive. Beyond the sales order automation, given the fact that the ODBC driver supports full connectivity into other Salesforce entities, are there any other use cases that you are using with robotic process automation and CData to enable these kinds of Salesforce-based automations?
Yeah, absolutely right. While sales order automation is our biggest use case here, right? But we already expanded CData connectivity to several other areas, right? For example, as you see on the slide here, right? We use it in our customer MDM, right? Master data management data to maintain the accuracy of a customer and partner account information on Salesforce. This is to improve data quality across the system, right? To make sure that we have a single source of truth here. In the resource and project management space, right? We also doing a lot of automation to do invoice reconciliation here. For the other cases, like we also leveraging C data to feed, extract case data and feed into the generative AI model to automatically generate customer meeting summary. Right? So every time when the our agent have a meeting with customer, all information about meeting is recorded in the case. So what we done is that we extract that the meeting ID, right, and then be able to kind of retrieve meeting transcript and then use generative AI to summarize the content of meeting and then write it back into the case. So this way, human agent would not need to spend time watch recording or summarize the transcript themselves. Every information about discussion with customer is readily available within the case itself. And last but not least, why we also having support forum on Salesforce. So we using CDA extract information and then using generative AI to automatically do the moderation on the submission. Because we want to make sure that the content into the in order to support to submit to the forum has to be good content. There's no personal information, right? It has to be English, for example, right? So by leveraging generative AI and C data, we use this combination to monitor if we should go ahead automatically approve the submission of the form or not, right? If not, right, we have a human handling the exception. So this is significantly again uh, allowing the human agent instead of spending time doing a lot of moderation, use the automation to reduce the time turnaround time for submission.
Yeah, it's clear to me that you're getting a lot of leverage out of AI, specifically when it comes to these customer service, Salesforce related use cases. I think this is really insightful for the audience when it comes to getting ROI out of AI through these process automation workflows. So what's next for Zebra when it comes to AI and automation?
Yeah, we have a lot of exciting things that ahead of us for sure, right? We want to expand the vision of do automate more, but also bring the broader generative AI adoption across Zebra. Right? So we're looking for bringing more information, make it information readily available for a lot of agentic AI solution that we're building this year, right? One of the sample is that we currently evaluating the C data MCP server for Salesforce and other data sources also, right? So the assumption is that will allow us to do be able to get the data seamlessly in real time, right? Using agent. I think I like the term called we can talk to our data, right? So that's kind of feature that we want to enable to talk to our data. So this allow an agent that can kind of simply ask question in the natural language, right? Like get instant and reliable insight or information without a need to write a lot of SQL statement or without a need to know how to set up the system in the background, right? So allow us to expand ability to have multiple agent and talk to the MCP, for example, give us ability to scale with the multiple agentic solution here.
Yeah, I think talk to your data is really the frontier with conversational analytics as a use case in terms of how you can get insights out of your data. So it's really exciting to hear that you're looking to implement that. Um, in in terms of advice that you would share with other organizations that are just starting their automation or AI journey, what lessons can you share from having gone through this implementation and others, and how should organizations think about starting their AI and automation journeys?
Sure, yeah. One of the biggest advice that I can say, right? Let's start with the clear business use case, right? A lot of time, often people start with the technology. I want to build a new things, right? We encourage you don't bring in with the technology for the technology's sake, right? Focus on actual business use case on solving the pain point that we agree with business, right? Because this way you will get support from stakeholder. You see more value that brings into the organization right away, right? And also choose reliable integration tool, right? Like in this case, we see value of having CDA, which is the leader in the data connectivity that can connect to various data sources, right, seamlessly. So it's make automation or generative AI the solution easier to build and easier to scale, right? And also, last but not least, is that start small, right? There's no need to build something like big bang. Start small, scale incrementally, right? And in this way, you kind of gain more value by adding more automation or by adding more account or by making more solution here. And then this way, you can kind of learn part of process, learn to build, and then adjust your strategy or adjust your implementation as you go. So that's kind of some of the advice that I get. I think this is kind of what we learned from the solution that we built here.
Those are great pointers. And thank you so much for bringing your experience. This has been super insightful for me, and I'm sure for the audience as well. So at this time, we'll move on to take any questions from the audience that Idishai can help address here from his use case and experience. So to start off with, we have a question. We're still lost when it comes to where to start with AI. With the approaches covered in your session, what do you think is a good very first AI project? What are your thoughts on this?
I would think that's the most common and then mature, and then you can gain benefit right away is starting with the maybe create like conversational chatbot for your standard operating procedure, SOP, right? Basic question about how to get time off, how to submit reimbursement, and so on. If you have a company portal where the search content is not intuitive, right? Especially oftentimes, some of the system is very hard to get the result. Generative AI can help with that for sure by connecting your company portal with the generative AI that have data connect to RAG, for example, retrieval augmented generation that connect to all the multiple standard operating procedures document, right? Especially static document. I think that you gain the value right away because now instead of getting search result as a list of multiple links that you have to click to, like in the sometimes Google search right now, you have a way to kind of summarize all the content and then the answer in summary, hit to the point instead of having user to kind of browse to each search result.
That's awesome. I think we have time for one more question. Were there any early indicators or metrics that made it clear to you that automation was a priority?
Yeah, I think most important part is the volume of the manual order that comes in, and then ability for us to respond before automation is very delayed process, right? And often we kind of heard about taking days to get something entered in the system, and then the response is we don't get the order confirmation in a timely manner. So we part of this implementation, we also measure this improvement, right? Because at the end of the day, we want to showcase that really automation provide value, right? We measure the volume coming in, and now we measure the how long it takes to process order, so we can see that, can confidently see that instead of days, hours or day, it become now by minutes. So it's important to kind of measure metrics as a part of your goal as well, because this way you can showcase the value.
It's very insightful. Well, thanks again. That's all the time that we have for questions. Thank you again, Idishai, for bringing your experience, and thank you to the audience for joining us here on this session. And we will catch you on the next one.
Thanks for having me, Ruth. Take care. Bye.